Hi, everyone, and good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I am here today and we're going to talk to Dr. Sharad Kulkarni, I hope I say his name right, about digital gadgets and their effect on us and our relationships. So we're just waiting for him to join here and then I will invite him in. We're testing a new time that hopefully works for India and the US as well. So let's see if you Europeans have time during your lunch. Let's see if he's coming in. I hope you're having a good day. The sun is shining in Hamburg where I'm sitting. It's very nice. Great. Hello.
Hello, namaste.
Namaste. Nice to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Very good.
Amazing.
Very good. Yeah, I'm
That's
in
great.
between. I've had a few clients live yoga from home. It's interesting.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I think the whole world is turning digital now.
Yes. That leads us perfectly into our subject for the day. I'm going to talk about electronics and gadgets and how they affect us.
Yes.
So,
smart gadgets.
Yes. What are so? Just tell us a little bit about yourself first. You're one of the contributors of ETHA, so you filmed videos for us in Delhi. Is that correct? Last year?
In Delhi, New Delhi last year.
Yes. Great.
So I think it's great to be a part of international online committee of Ayurveda and holistic healing. So I think last year with Anna had shot the videos, and hopefully they'll be out very soon.
Yes.
Through the ETHA Life.
Soon. Yes. Watch this space.
Yes, watch this space. Absolutely right. and all the viewers are joining. Thank you very much for all the viewers who are joining us. So we have lots of things to go ahead today, and Lisa will be asking lots of questions also.
Yes. So you're practicing in India. Are you running your own clinic, or are you working in a hospital? Or
I'm running my own clinic in India, based out of Bengaluru, which is in Karnataka.
Yes, I've been there.
Amazing. That's great.
So what are the biggest challenges that you see the people you're seeing now facing?
Okay. Nirupama Bhatt is asking, what's the topic? Okay, the topic is regarding digital detoxification and fasting, periodical fasting from the smart gadgets. All right, Lisa, sorry to interrupt you. You can go ahead.
All good. No, I was just asking what are some of the challenges that you see people having around this topic, but maybe other things. What are the people that you're seeing in your clinic facing right now?
There are lots of challenges which people or my clients or even me, we are experiencing as of now. But the number one which tops the list is what is in for the future after COVID-19. This is one thing which is bothering everyone. And I think the same thing is at your place also. So that is the one thing which is not only bothering with respect to health, it is also bothering with respect to wealth also. What would be the fate of the economy? What would be the fate of individual economy? What would be the fate of the economy of the globe, the country, the nation?
Yeah.
So all these things tops the list when it comes to the challenges being faced by most of the people and most of my clients as of now or today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. No one knows, right?
No one knows.
It's a big surprise.
Just be optimistic.
Yes. So, how do you think people are dealing with this uncertainty? How does that affect our health?
Okay. How people are dealing with this uncertainty can be divided into two parts. Especially in India, we had lockdown into one, two, three episodes, and maybe upcoming episodes also, if you are not sure. So initially, it sounded a kind of interesting thing, wherein all the salaries were being paid, everyone was getting good food at home. Most of them, with due respect to all the human beings. Of course, there were some troubles. I agree. Uh, but they were just sitting, and this was a kind of official holiday declared by the government itself. So that was the thing when it all started. But when it continued, what happened was people were confused. People are confused, wherein what is going on, what is in for the future. So everyone had one thing in their hand, and that is the digital gadget. You call it as mobile, you call it as tab, you call it as maybe smart gadget, you call it as a laptop, whatever it is. Everyone had that, and lots of internet connectivity, and everyone just began to get digital. So, as a result of that, we can see uh, our live session. We can see lots of webinars happening all over the world, and daily as per the statistics, almost daily 10 to 20,000 of webinars are going on, may it
Wow.
be on any kind of social media.
Yeah.
So while not be taking the name, any kind of social media, it's around so many of the webinars happening, including the live sessions, e-trainings, online classes, everything. So lots of data is being consumed, lots of devices are being consumed mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So this is how people started with it. This is one aspect of what I'm talking about, because it is relevant to what we are going to speak ahead.
Yeah. And do you think people, what do you think that is? Is it a way to avoid our feelings, to, go into distract ourselves from our feelings, maybe because we're getting so much input, right? And it can be really overwhelming.
Yes.
Or like, what do you think that drives this behavior?
So one thing is there has been a little bit of a kind of social phobia before this lockdown also, wherein because of digital interaction, people are getting less social. So they are not more social. Of course, that is one of the side effect of being digitized, and we have merits also. I do agree, but not being social or kind of sociophobic nature has been one of the important outcomes of being too much of digitized. And due to this lockdown, I feel it has increased. It doesn't mean that we have to go out from the home, breaking the rules of the government, and just keeps interacting with anyone, friends, or whatever it is. But overall, the social interaction has reduced drastically, and because of this, now it is almost reduced by 4 times.
Wow. So how do you think this affects us when we spend so much time in front of screens?
Okay, when we spend lots of times on the screens, I think Ayurveda has explained it very methodically, wherein over usage of any kind of sense organ has to be avoided. So this is a sense organ spelled as Chakshurendriya in Sanskrit. And if at all we do the Ati Yoga or over usage of this sense organ, there is bound to happen lots of things which shouldn't happen actually. One of them would be like addiction. Of course, the addiction is here and here both. Sense organ is just the means. But apart from that, refractive errors and maybe computer vision syndrome and maybe asthenopic symptoms with respect to eyes, like a burning sensation in the eyes, extreme dryness in the eyes, unnecessary what do you call burning sensation in the eyes without doing anything. So all these kinds of symptoms are being seen with respect to eyes. And when it comes to with respect to ears, again one more sense organ, we have plugged in the AirPods, we have plugged in the earphones, we have plugged in the complete headphones. So what is happening is we are completely away from the social thing or the present, and then we are just into the digital world wherein it may harm our ears also because of continuous hearing of maybe webinars, maybe songs, or maybe seeing the videos, again webinars, etc. So this is with respect to the ears, wherein again the sense organ. The third thing is about the mental health, wherein people are developing anxiety, sociophobic nature, and hatredness, kind of, because it's natural human tendency to be jealous. So most of them, some of them may control it, but most of them would be jealousy, which is a natural human tendency. And what is happening is because of maybe lots of posts from a friend or from a foe, maybe one person is being anxious, one person is being traumatized slightly, maybe mentally. And this is a fact, of course, very odd thing to speak, but this is the fact. And facts are always bitter. So this is one thing wherein they are developing a kind of anxiety-induced stress. And because of this, what happens is there would be more and more kind of stalking. So if this continues, if it continuously happens, then the person involves in that act to such an extent that it becomes a cause and effect theory kind of thing, wherein he cannot come out of it, he or she cannot come out of it. And then there are all the possibilities that they may jump to the stage 2 of anxiety. So this is with respect to the mental wellness. And when it comes to neurological symptoms, a person who is addicted to the gadgets or over usage of smart gadgets, they are usually bound to get headache. May it be the frontal headache or may it be the occipital headache due to the strain to the eyes or the sense organs. And those who are lots into the recordings, lots into the videos, lots in the sense maybe it exceeds 6 to 7 hours a day. So in such cases, there are all the possibilities that they'll have a slight kind of headache or uneasiness is one thing. The next thing would be disturbed sleep, or if it reaches the next stage, it may be insomnia also, wherein a person may not be able to get a good sound sleep because of over usage of smart gadgets. May it be at night, may it be early in the morning, wherein it's a time to be away from the gadgets, usually, even as per the research studies also. So that is also one thing. And laziness is one thing which is being developed because of over usage of digital gadgets. Because early morning, we just have the alarm in the mobile itself. And then because to snooze the alarm, we pick up the mobile and then start browsing the social media. So this is what is happening with most of the people. They can also correlate it. And because of this, definitely the further hours of the day or the further even seconds of the day would not be very much successful, and we would not be very much happy or would not be filled with the joy, because the initial part itself is like wasting of the time, which their subconscious mind would be knowing, but still the addiction will make them to go ahead. So this is one thing. And then of course when it comes to the serious part of maybe attaining a certain kind of goals or achieving the goals or maybe a success, so definitely if a person starts the day with a mobile or to be more specific social media, then there are less likely chances that that person would not complete the recommended tasks for the day. There are all the possibilities that he or she would procrastinate or postpone the things just to fulfill their addiction. So this is also one of the important thing. And of course, because of all this, the circadian rhythm gets altered.
Yeah.
Sleep is altered, mental wellness is altered, and
Yeah.
the sleep time is altered. So definitely circadian rhythm alters. And once the circadian rhythm alters, we'll have reduced mental immunity also. And
Yeah.
going forward, we'll have a reduced physical immunity also.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You touched on so many interesting things. I want to go back a little bit. You talked a bit about comparison on social media and mental
Yes.
wellness,
Yes.
and I can relate so much to that. That it's interesting, right? Because I know that it's not going to make me feel better to go scrolling, but
Yes.
still, if I'm not feeling good, it's my first tendency to pick up the phone, and then before
Absolutely.
I know it, I'm on Instagram. So it's some things that have worked well for me is to move the app somewhere else, because then I catch myself when I'm going into
That
it.
is one of the means of digital detox or periodical fasting from the gadgets. It is one
Mm,
of the method, like switching off the notifications, turning off
yeah,
all kinds of notifications unless it's very much essential.
yeah,
You have to turn off all the
yeah.
notifications.
I don't have
And
any. I
yes,
keep my sound off my phone as well when I'm not using it, and because I mean, there's very few things that can't
yes.
wait 25 minutes. I check my phone every 25 minutes. That's my goal, at least. uh,
Oh,
but it's interesting, right, how the mind can get so hooked on something, and even though
absolutely.
we know that it's not going to make me feel better to scroll down the screen, I'm not going to find what I'm looking for scrolling.
Yes.
We still go there. Like, what is it? So it's mostly the mind, right? It's mostly that addiction or that hook of the mind that gives us that satisfaction, or the adrenaline, or what
Absolutely.
is that?
Yes, it is a kind of addiction. If a person is happy or sad with respect to social media, then it means that that person is already addicted to social media.
Mm,
If a person is happy uh, by seeing some of the posts or whatever it may be, I'm not just restricting it to the posts, it may be anything.
mm,
If a person is happy or if a person is sad with respect to
mm.
social media, then it almost suggests that that person is addicted to digital gadgets or social media.
Yeah.
So this happened to one of my client also, wherein a young lady, very young lady, 21-year-old,
Mm,
and this story I've written in my book also. So what happened was she used to be upset because of less likes and
mm,
because of less comments, positive comments,
mm,
and she used to be upset if there were more comments to one of her friend and
mm,
more likes. So eventually, how it happened, how it took her to the next stage is she used to go to some place, ditching her routine, whatever it is, maybe the college, or maybe the food, or maybe the sleep, go
mm,
to a certain place, make sure or ensure that she has lots of content to post on the social media,
mm,
which will get more likes when compared to maybe her friend or whoever it is, and keep posting them, keep checking them. Just imagine how much time she would be spending.
mm,
Uh, in general, the term is spending. To be specific, it's wasting. So,
mm.
so much time she would be wasting just to become happy or just to gain a little bit of happiness with respect to social media, which is absolutely temporary. The
Mm.
moment she posts the next post or she uploads the next thing, or she will visualize the other person's post getting more likes, that happiness is gone,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So we
Very
had to
interesting.
digitally detox her. It took 89 days for us almost to digitally
89.
yes, it took 89 days. We had to digitally detox her, and with little bit of herbs also, usage of little bit of herbs.
What kind of
And
herbs did you use? Can I ask?
we used Brahmi to her, which
Mm-hmm.
is a kind of brain tonic.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a mudra which was told to her, the mudra of the yoga, wherein it is called as Nabho Mudra. It's a very simple mudra which is practiced by lots of yogi or yogis in English. Actually, it's yogi. So, what is Nabho Mudra here is Nabho Mudra is just turning your tongue up and touching it to the upper palate. The base of the tongue should be rolled up and touched to the upper palate, which seizes all kinds of thoughts. It may be positive, it may be negative. It will make you still. So this is one mudra. This is miniature of a greater mudra called as Khechari mudra, wherein we roll our tongue and touch it to the epiglottis, and then we enter the tongue into the nasopharynx, which is very difficult task, which was practiced by lots of yogis. You might have heard of Khechari mudra.
Yeah.
So yes, the tongue
I've
should
practiced
be.
it. I can't get that far back though. But
So what you can do is, instead of Khechari mudra, you can do Nabho mudra. Nabhas means sky in Sanskrit, and then this Nabha or sky is compared to the upper palate, wherein you will roll the tongue and touch it. So as per one of the hypotheses of yoga, what it tells is there are the thoughts arise wherein there is empty space. The whole body is connected except the mouth. It's not connected. We have an empty space here. So where there is a hollow space, you get lots of thoughts. Maybe in psychiatry, it's called as flight of ideas. You keep on getting the thoughts. So that can be managed through the Nabho mudra, wherein you connect the tongue to the upper palate and complete the circuit. So there is no hollow space. So this is one of the hypotheses. And then with the help of Nabho mudra and some of the herbs, yes, we were able to manage her. She's doing well now. But of course, it's a daily task. The day she just misses the thing, then she'll jump into the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was really interesting what you said as well about checking the phone first thing in the morning.
Yes.
So what I do, what has changed everything, changed my sleep completely, is I don't keep my phone in my bedroom anymore. So I have a light alarm that it slowly gets brighter in the room 30 minutes before I'm waking up. Great. And then my phone is not in the room at all. And it changes everything. Because then those first moments in the day, they're so precious. It's such a special energy in the atmosphere. Body. And to just be able to check in with how I'm feeling, do a little prayer, start the day right, and maybe go through the day a little bit and plan out how I want to do things instead of just straight going to the phone. It changes everything.
That's absolutely right. So the energy, if we utilize that kind of energy, which we call as Brahma Murta or Brahmi Murta in Sanskrit, yes, 1 hour 24 minutes before the sunrise. So if we utilize that time properly, then believe me, it's amazing. It's going to be phenomenal, and it's just a pathway towards success, whatever it may be, with respect to anything. Success may be with respect to anything. The same thing if we just start the day with a mobile, start the day with social media, and if at all the mobile is in the sleeping room with the alarm on, and if at all we pick it to snooze it or even to switch it off, there are all the possibilities that we are gonna check the social media for sure.
Yeah. Also, for the people who are keeping their phone in the room, what I used to do is when I did that is to put it on airplane mode. So at least then you don't have any notifications show up, and you know that I can't see the messages anyways. And how long would you say we should wait until we check the phone in the morning?
Until you have been tuned by your mind or trained by your mind in such a way that, yes, I'm done with the day. It may be for 1 hour, it may be for 2 hours, it may be for 3 hours. I think the most important task post getting up early in the morning, that is 1 hour 24 minutes before the sunrise, which I usually prefer. But as of now, we are fixed it for 6 a.m. in India or in Bengaluru, where I'm practicing. Because when I tell it as 4:35 a.m., usually clients don't visit the next time. So we have fixed it for 6 a.m. as of now, and slowly to switch it to 5 a.m. When it is 6 a.m., we should make sure that we have given enough amount of exercise to the body through the physical exercises. May it be sweat out, jogging, cycling, or whatever it is. Treadmill, people who are loving treadmill, or running, or gym.
Yoga is exercise as well, or walking inside of your apartment.
Apartment, as of now, lockdown routine, and asanas. After that, training your mind through either reading books, reading inspirational biographies, or listening to podcasts, not the video. And the podcast should be fixed. It shouldn't be in the mobile. We are just operating, and no, it should be fixed. We get the podcasts. We can just fix it and play it. That is allowed. The audiobooks, we can definitely listen to it. The best part of it is reading, not the audiobooks, not listening. Reading and meditation and concentrating on the chakras, chakra breathing, and breathing exercise, that is pranayama or breathology. All these things, once we ensure that all these things are done, if it is not prepared the previous night, so that is also one thing. Preparation of the daily schedule. After this, they are free to use the mobile. So minimum it will take 3 hours, not less than that. It will take 180 minutes in order to successfully complete all these things.
Wonderful. Yeah, and we have a little weekend coming up at IFA, so watch this space where you can learn how to make utilize all these dinacharya, all these practices, and we will be sharing that over the next few days. So
that's great.
We also got a question in here. So all of these things that we're talking about is really great to prevent, anxiety and not getting dependent on the phone or gadget.
Digital gadgets.
But we got a question here. What can help with anxiety once a panic attack has started already?
Okay.
Do you have any ideas?
Yes, definitely. The person who has asked it. Definitely we need a mentor or a counselor who will be along with us, or a coach, who will be along with us and who will monitor us personally, counsel us personally. Then we can slowly come out of that panic attack, and then slowly we can resort to the well-being routines, which are also being to be posted on this space.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think for me, alternate nostril breathing is really powerful too, or any forward fold. So going into child's pose, or another kind of forward fold, maybe doing a forward fold with a cushion in front or something where you can, anything where we when we round the spine, that's very relaxing for the nervous system. So that's
rabbit posture.
Nadi Shodhana, where you breathe in and breathe out through one nostril and then close the other one. Yeah,
absolutely.
We could also get another question here. As we cannot leave gadgets at home right now smartly, how can we, is there any alternatives that can be done? Something like eye exercises or taking a nap or something to counter the effects of
very good question. I don't deny this. With due respect, I want to just take an analogy here. Just because we have antidote for snake bite, it doesn't mean we should go and get bitten by a snake. Make sense?
Yes. Go to the root cause.
Yes. So just because we have eye exercises, just because we have wonderful eye drops, herbal eye drops, wonderful tear supplements, methyl cellulose tear supplements, just because we have a very good iPad, the iPad, so it doesn't mean that we have to use the gadgets and use them. Digital fasting is a must. There is no any other alternative to this, because it's not only with respect to the eyes, it is also with respect to the mind. It is also with respect to the addiction. So we don't have anything for that. The only thing for that is Nidana Parivarjana, which is told in Ayurveda in the Sanskrit form. That is, sacrifice the root cause. That's it. Finished. And then here we are not telling them to completely avoid the gadgets. Work on yourself. Once you feel, yes, I have done something for the day, please utilize the gadgets. Go ahead with social media, like the posts or upload something. Definitely they can do it. We are not telling them not to do it or completely abstain from using the gadgets. It's periodical fasting from the gadgets. It's not abstinence from the gadgets.
So we talked about the morning and that is a very important time to be off the
Yes.
phone, those first moments of the day. Are there any other days there, or other times during the day where you would say it's extra important to stay off your phone or your computer?
Just before the sleep, bedtime,
Mm-hmm.
or at least again. Okay,
I knew the
next.
answer to that.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's great. So I think if the sleep time is 10 p.m.,
Yeah.
which is a standard thing, don't know about the lockdown routine, but usually the standard thing is 10 p.m. I think by 8:30, 9 p.m., we should turn off the data or just e-detox. I call it as e-detox. So e-detox is nothing, is not seeing on the mobile and getting detoxed. It is digital. E-detox is nothing but switching off the data, the Wi-Fi, the broadband, whatever it is. Either you switch it off from your mobile or you switch it off completely from the main switch, and just allow the phone or allow the mobile only to receive the calls or just the text SMS, the older version, the text SMS. Just restrict to it. And that is the first part in digital detox, wherein we have to e-detox. We have to data detox. So once there is no data and once there is no internet connected, so we can utilize the mobile like our basic Nokia sets, how we used only for calling some 20 years ago, 10 years ago, just calling SMS. So use that. And then maybe at 10 o'clock, we will sleep because of that blue radiation and the red radiation hypothesis or the theory.
Yeah.
So it's very important, or else definitely that person is bound to get a disturbed sleep, insomnia, leading to lots of complications. First being hypertension and anxiety.
Yeah, we also, earlier this week when we talked a little bit about what we wanted to share today, you shared something about the chakras and how blue light affects them. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
100%, no doubt in that, because chakras have been foremost important topic made with in east or west, everywhere chakras are important. Chakras are the energy centers which are located, may it be the root chakra, Muladhara, maybe the Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, or Vishuddha, Agya, or Sahasrara. So all these are the energy centers which definitely reduce the functioning. They have their own natural kind of normal functioning. They reduce the functioning, or the functioning is reduced. Not they don't reduce the functioning. The functioning is reduced if there is emotional tangentiality towards this negativity or negative emotions or anxiety, stress, or feeling of non-well-being, that I'm not perfect, I'm not great, I'm not right, that person is doing right, this is happened, that is happened. So all these kinds of negative emotions, the term I is one of the strongest word in the world. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I wish I would have been that, I wish I would have been that. So all these subconsciously somewhere affect the aura of a person, eventually blocking the aura, and then we can see the reduced functioning of the chakras. So the normal functioning of the chakras tends to be reduced, and then it may affect their health, it may affect their wealth, it may affect their mental well-being, that is mental health, it may affect their relationships, and it may affect their overall well-being over a period of time. So definitely chakras have got something to do with the blue light, which in turn has got something to do with the sleep, which in turn has got something to do with the physical and mental well-being, which in turn have got something to do with the chakras. So again, the world is round.
And our digestion, it's affecting as well, right? It's more difficult
100%.
to digest when we have sleep issues, and then
Three important things. One is diet, second is sleep, third is exercise. They all the three are related in such a way that if one is not proper, if one is hampered, the other two gets hampered. For an instance, I'll tell you an example of a person who visited to me some years ago, not days ago, some years ago, some 4 years ago. And this person was working in a multinational company which used to work for US shift, and the whole shift was night shift.
Mm.
Right? So this person used to work in the night time and used to sleep during the daytime, which is absolutely against the nature. When it is taken on a longer run, definitely it is bound to have side effects or the adverse effects. So what happened with this person is this person had lots of mood swings and unexplained weight gain and also PCOD. I'm talking about a female patient actually. So PCOD. So and then when we tracked the history of hers, then we came to know that the sleep which was altered, that is the night sleep. There was no night sleep. So what happened was there was no proper breakfast because the person used to sleep at around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and get up by around 3 or 4 p.m. So there is no proper circadian rhythm with respect to the diet. With respect to sleep, though it's gone. With respect to diet, there is no proper timing. And then when it is a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, it's just the king's or the queen's routine. Just eat lots of things and sleep lots of the time because they have to compensate the other 5 days of the week, the working days. So the body gets confused, the brain gets confused. What is it going on? Monday, different routine. Sunday, different routine. Saturday, different routine. What is it going on? Is it me or someone else? So there would be a similar instance or a similar thing. Hi Pranay, I hope you're doing great. Pranay is my friend. There would be a similar instance of jet lag. This is nothing but a jet lag, wherein you play with your circadian rhythm in the jet lag. So that's why you will be having that lagginess. The same thing happens to this person who has not traveled even 50 kilometers also, live about jet lag. So this is how that person got affected, and then that person eventually had to quit the job. So great decisions, big decisions of life. That person, she has to quit the job, and after that, yes, of course, there was a little bit of improvement. But I think these are all tedious tasks. They usually consume lots of time in order to normalize.
Yeah.
Because when we have altered the circadian rhythm, the nature of any kind of disease usually changes. We cannot predict that this disease will have this kind of pathogenesis itself. The disease may manifest in a different way, not like how we have studied it or how we have seen it or how we have read it in the medical or surgical texts. It usually tends to change its pathway, change its pathogenesis kind of thing. Of course, it's not right to tell that term, but definitely the presentation would be entirely different.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Yes, and the response to the treatment would also be different.
Yeah. Not one size fits all. It's very individualized. Yeah, very interesting. We also got a question here about Wi-Fi. So someone who has many neighbors in the building and there's many Wi-Fi accounts, and you also have your own Wi-Fi, right? Do you turn it off at night, or how do you? Is there something we can do to protect ourselves from that?
See, again, I have something to say here, because there are some of the communities, there are some of the, not communities, there are some of the maybe residential areas which are completely covered by CCTV cameras, and it needs Wi-Fi to access. Fine. So it's just a joke, and then I'll be going right with the reality. Of course, it's a reality also. So what happens is, as of now, as of today, it's not advised to switch off the Wi-Fi, the main button, overnight until and unless you don't have any other commitments like this. May it be the CCTV recording, or maybe some background program is running, or something else. If it is very much essential, then definitely it's not proper to switch it off. And when it comes to the radiation hazards, definitely Wi-Fi and Bluetooth have got something to do with the magnetic field of the body. I definitely agree with this. So there is all the possibility that the magnetic field of the radiation or this kind of Bluetooth is not simulating, or it's not similar to the body's magnetic this thing, waves. So when there is a mismatch, then there are possibilities that there are some of the hypotheses also wherein it may generate some kind of unexplained tumors also. So all these kinds have been told. So what I would personally suggest you is, please turn off the data and turn off the Wi-Fi from your smart gadget. If possible, please switch it off at night and keep it instead of switching off the whole switch. And you can definitely switch off the switch off the main button, provided if you don't have any other commitments. Like as I told, one thing is CCTV, which is in my mind as of now, definitely. So if that is the thing, then you can switch off the main button also.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I hope I have answered this question.
I think so. I hope so. If we didn't, then write again, please.
Please, all the time.
Something that I've been thinking about too is how spending so much time on the gadgets affect our relationships.
Relationship, very important question. All right. I have a standard quote saying that digital gadgets have the capacity to make or break a relation.
Yeah.
So definitely, yes, it will affect the relationships. And we have seen lots of incompatibility issues and misunderstandings in the relationships. Not just a husband and wife. It may be a mother with the mother. It may be with the father. And as I was telling the last time, this is a story of a kid also who was not even listening to the parents when that kid was in front of the mobile. So of course, this is a kind of alarming sign to the parents, and parents are just calling the name of the kid 5 times, 10 times. So the kid is not able to listen and completely into the mobile gaming. So definitely these kinds of things will affect the relationships. And we have the merits also. As of now, we are talking the demerits, so I'm telling this. We have the merits also. It keeps us connected. It keeps us maybe smiling because of we keep interacting with our loved ones. But having said this, hazards would be more if it is not utilized properly. Again, it's not with respect to the couples. It may be with respect to anyone in the family, with the friends. We have seen lots of the misunderstandings in between the friends, because one person was just into the mobile and not listening to the other person. So we have seen kind of misunderstandings also here.
Yeah, and it's also, I can't remember exactly the percentage, but there was something about just having a phone lying on the table as you're in a conversation is going to reduce the intimacy of the conversation. Like you're not gonna, because there's the chance of the phone ringing, the person picking it up, and then they're gone. So there's always this, I think I notice that a lot. I don't, when I'm eating, I don't keep my phone around.
Absolutely.
I take a photo and then I put it away. And, but it's, even if the phone is turned off, like there's studies have been done that show that it really takes away from the intimacy of the conversation. I think that's
100%. 100%, no doubt in this. Okay, this hi Pujita. Pujita is asking whether overuse of digital. I just moved up. I'll just tell whatever I analyzed. Overusage of gadgets causes aging soon. So definitely yes, Pujita. Overusage of gadgets has been related to faster aging, and to be more specific, it is 1.5 times more faster, 1.5x faster aging signs. If you are into more of gadgets, it is again when it comes to the blue light radiation, when it is again to the sleep, and when the sleep is altered, the diet is altered, and because of lack of sleep and or improper sleep, you will not be having that enthusiasm or zeal to exercise, to physically strain yourself or just exercise. So exercise is gone, and diet is gone, sleep is gone. Definitely aging sets in faster, no doubt in this. So digital gadgets can be directly related to the aging symptoms or aging clinical features, aging signs. May it be with respect to skin, may it be with respect to hairs, but it is too much with respect to this.
It's interesting. Everything we've talked about today is relating to Vata dosha, right?
yes,
This is all Vata, Samsung Vata imbalance. We haven't even mentioned it. It's
yes,
yeah, it's the flickering on the screen and the taking in so much information that overloads our
correct.
system. And
Overloads, flight of
yeah,
ideas,
yeah,
everything is Vata
yeah,
dosha.
yeah.
So Nabho Mudra also balances your Vata dosha
Mm-hmm.
as per the Yoga Shastra. It is
Mm-hmm.
mentioned in Gheranda Samhita. Gheranda is one of the yogi who is very famous yogi. So he has written a book called as Gheranda Samhita, and he has
Mm-hmm.
clearly mentioned it that Nabho Mudra will keep you away from lots of mental and physical diseases. So it's a yogi's favorite posture or mudra.
Mm. Is that the one you showed us that you talked about now? Yeah, Nabha Mudra. Yeah,
It's a Nabho
Khichdi
Mudra.
or Nabha Mudra.
Very,
Mm-hmm.
very good to take away to all the viewers. Nabho Mudra is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be kept top secret. Secret. Don't tell anyone.
So if there's one thing that you would send our viewers home with today, it cannot be Navi Mudra,
Okay,
something else, one other thing that they take with them that they can do at home to improve their relationships with the gadgets, their relationships to people around them relating to the gadgets. What would you say? What's the most important thing we can do today?
e-detox. Start
Yeah.
with e-detox, and again, I'm repeating: e-detox is not just putting on your screen and seeing some recipes to detox and detoxing yourself. E-detox is literally switching off all the kinds of internet connectivity, may it be the data, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, broadband, whatever it is. You have to switch it off on your smart gadget and start the digital detox. Digital detox has multiple steps. Among them, the first step is e-detox, which is easy also. Switch it off, and the anxiety would be there for some time. What would be the message which I have received? What would be the notification which I have received? What would be the reaction to the post I have posted? Definitely, it would be there. But believe me, over a period of time, you will be so much happy that you will switch it off more and more times, and especially before the bedtime and when once you wake up early in the morning. It's very important that we e-detox, or the first step of digital detoxification is very important in order to build ourselves, may it be physically, may it be mentally, or may it be economically.
Wonderful. So when you say e-detox, you mean, I think of it as like a whole weekend or a whole week or something, but you mean to just do that for a few hours every day, like
Yes,
right in the morning or in the right before bed. Okay, beautiful.
yes.
That's a great,
It,
great
it, it,
things
it's
to,
just it's just every day. You do it
yeah,
every day. You will do it every week. You will do it every fortnight. You will do it every month. You will do it every year, and you will do it every decade.
wonderful.
So it's just daily routine.
Yeah,
Whatever we talk is daily routine. Ayurveda always talks of daily routine, and
yeah,
over usage of sense organ
yeah,
is prohibited as per Ayurveda. If at all you feel that you are lost mentally, you are lost with respect to your sense organs, there is a time you should shut down all your activities and just rest, is what has been mentioned in Ayurveda
yeah,
in the daily routine. So we
yeah,
shouldn't overstrain the sense organs. It's
yeah,
always harmful.
wonderful.
Of
I'll
course,
just throw in,
under usage is also harmful, but over
yeah,
usage is more harmful.
yeah. I'll just throw in one more thing that I just thought of. I have blue light glasses. So
Okay,
sometimes when I have to be on my screen, I have to, I mean, you can actually turn off the blue light on your phone as well. That's a good tip too. Turn it
absolutely,
off
definitely
completely.
yes.
I have it on off all day and on the computer as well. And then I'm also using blue light glasses. It helps me keep a little bit of distance. I feel like I'm not going into the gadget as much and have a little bit more distance to it.
But that will only make sure that your brain knows it's night. See, always brain gets confused with the blue light, blue
Yeah.
radiation. It feels
Yeah.
that it's daytime,
Yeah.
and then it'll just not let you sleep, or
Yeah.
it'll not get you that non-REM sleep
Yeah.
properly. But the other part is still remaining,
Yeah.
wherein we have addiction that still remains, even if the blue radiation is off, or even if we are wearing the glasses.
Very
So, by
true.
all means, I think digital detoxification is required, and I think need of the hour during lockdown.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
Yes. How
All
to
right, so we got a
do
last how to do
e-detox.
e-doxes. All right,
Okay, how to
explain it
do
one more
e-detox.
time and then we round things up.
Okay. All right, Vedaji, what you have to do is it's very simple. E-detox is nothing but switching off your data, switching off all the kinds of internet connectivity on your mobile or any kind of smart gadget. Just turn it off. Say some 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. Just schedule it. Fine. Let it be at least 11 hours. Let it be at least 11 hours. If it is 12 hours, it's well and good. Switch it off, and once you get accustomed to this, try doing this in the mid of the day also, maybe during the lunch or just in the evening, maybe during the exercise, during the meditation time. Definitely we can do that. So I hope I made the statement clear. What is e-detox?
I think so.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much, Doctor, for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you very
And
much.
we will share this in the Instagram TV so that you can
Super.
rewatch it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for inviting,
Thank you.
and I wish everyone a good health. Good health to you also. I think it's your lunchtime now.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
hungry now.
You're hungry. So time to periodically fast from the gadgets and
Yes.
have your lunch. Veda Almighty, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. Thank you all the viewers for being with us. We are always grateful to you. I hope you had some takeaway from this. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or Lisa. We'll definitely help you out. We'll reach you out and we'll help you out. Thank you
Yes.
again.
Thank you
Namaste.
so much, and look forward to having you on again as well soon.
Are super. Anytime. Chalo.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good day.
Bye bye. Same
Bye.
to you. Bye.